Hello everybody. Myself Mrs. Kishori Sutar, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics, Scaly College of Pharmacy, Belgavi. In this session, we will be dealing about powders, which is one of the most important component in solid dosage forms. Next, moving to the definition. Powder is a mixture of finely divided drug or finely divided chemicals in a dry form that may be meant for internal use as oral powders, or powders can be applied externally, which are used as topical or dusting powders. Powders exhibit some of the advantages. The first one, they can be used internally to treat any particular ailment or a disease. It can also be used externally on the body surfaces. The second advantage is that they're more stable as compared to the liquid dosage form. So the stability parameter here is because it is totally free of moisture. So whenever there is addition of water or any solvents, there are chances of growth of microorganisms. But since powders are in finely divided form and it is free of moisture, the stability is enhanced as compared to the other dosage form. The onset of action is rapid as compared to the other dosage form because it is in finely divided state. When we are taking it orally, it is going to readily dissolve. With a smaller particle size, solubility enhances and better will be the bioavailability of the drug. Similarly, if we are considered the powders to be applied on topical surfaces of the body or into the deep cavities, because of its particle size, it is going to exhibit a better therapeutic activity. Next, the disadvantage is that larger quantity of powdered drug can be easily administered by dissolving it in a suitable liquid. Like a better example here is ENO. We have to just remove open the sachet, take a glass full of water, pour these granules of the powders into it and consume it. So the method that has to be applied here is easy and it is going to give a faster relief to the patient. They are easy to carry and small children, elderly persons, those who cannot swallow tablets or capsules, powders are one of the most convenient type of dosage forms. They also exhibit some of the disadvantages, like they are less convenient to carry, especially for bulk powders, and they're not suitable for administering potent drugs, which are given in very low concentration. The drugs which are having bitter, nauseous, and unpleasant taste cannot be dispersed in powder form. Because when we are dispersing the powder in a suitable vehicle, that is water, it is going to exhibit its particular taste. Therefore, a bitter taste or an unpleasant taste is not suitable for powder as a dosage form. The drugs which are difficult to protect, like if they are hygroscopic, deliquescent, then they are going to absorb atmospheric moisture. Example is potassium citrate. Such type of drugs cannot be formulated in the form of powders, even calcium chloride, and quantity which is less than 100 mg is difficult to be weighed. Therefore, suspending them in a particular dosage form as powders is more difficult, and it is also a time-consuming process. Classification of powders, they are classified as follows. The first category is bulk powders for external use. Second is for internal use. Then we have simple and compound powders for internal use. We have effervescent granules, eutectic mixtures, and cachets. Bulk powders for external use. The term bulk is saying that they are used in larger quantity and externally applied to the skin for any infections. Then they contain a non-potent drug. That is a drug which is not that efficacy, which is not exhibiting a better efficacy. Like for example, if you consider an anti-cancer agent, they're more potent because smaller their quantity is going to exhibit a better therapeutic effect. But here, a dusting powder or any powders which are meant for topical application are not as potent as compared to some of the other disease ingredients. These powders are dispensed in different bottles like glass, plastic, or mouth bottles and given into a specific application. Then they are further classified. That is, bulk powders for external use are further classified as dusting powders, snuffs, douches, dental powders, and insufflations. Now coming to the first category of bulk powders for external use, dusting powder. Dusting powder, they are applied externally for local application of the skin, and it is not meant for systemic action. These type of powders are going to inhibit the action on the topical surface of the skin where there are wounds, infections, or any other type of diseases on the skin itself. But the desirable characteristic of dusting powder is that they should be very much fine in their subdivision to avoid local irritation. Then they should be passed through sieve number 80 or 100. They are further classified into two types, that is medical and surgical. Medical powder, they are used for superficial skin conditions and they must be free from microorganisms. Surgical, they are used in body cavities like burns, umbilical cords for infants, and must be sterilized. Sterilization is an important parameter here because when we are spraying this powder into the internal body cavities, there are chances that there is growth of microorganisms. So in order to prevent that, a particular bacteriostatic or a cidal agent need to be added. Dusting powders are prepared by mixing two ingredients, out of which one is an inactive agent such as starch, talc, or kaolin. Then they must be dispensed in sifter top containers. Now these containers are the one in which the topper surface is provided with fine holes, so that when we actually press the bottle with a little pressure, the desired amount of powder can be come out from the sift or the top sift of the container. They should be free from air, moisture, and contamination. Some talcum powders are also provided in this type of containers. Next is dusting powders are used as protectives, adsorbents, antiseptics, antipruritics, astringents, etc. Insufflations. These are medicated powders which are meant for applied to the body cavities like ears, nose, vagina, etc. Now, insufflations are given along with an insufflator also. They are going to produce a desirable action at the site where we are applying them. Then it is delivering a particular amount of dosage form on the affected part in a stream with an insufflator. Now this blows the powder to the site. Like if we have to apply this type of dusting powder into the nose, an insufflator has been provided wherein we are going to just press or apply pressure to the bottle, then it releases the drug in the form of fine powder. Similarly for nose, ears, and into the vagina, this particular type of route has been given. They are given in pressurized form, that is aerosol. Aerosol is another type of insufflation that is used. Now, this aerosol is specifically provided with a propellant. Now, these propellants are provided in the form of a compressed gas like chlorofluorocarbon. Then there is an actuator and a valve. So, when we apply pressure on the valve, a desired amount of dose of drug will be coming out from this bottle. So, this is particularly used for bronchial dilation in patients with asthma, allergic rhinitis, etc. The next category of external powders are snuffs. Now these snuffs are divided in the form of finely powders, which are in the flat metal boxes with a hinged lid. They are used for decongestion, antiseptic, and bronchodilator. Here in these images, we can see that it can be used as a moist snuff, dry snuff, and in the form of snus. The next category of tooth powder is also a type of externally used powders. Then they are also called as dental powders, which contain detergents, abrasives, flavoring agents, including a suitable base like calcium carbonate. Simple and compound powders for internal use. This is the second category or classification of powders. These powders are packed into properly folded papers and they're dispensed in envelopes, metal foils, heat-sealed plastic bags, or other desirable containers. So the modern packaging, whatever is available now in the market, it has been replaced with this historical type of packaging. Here it involves plastic laminates wherein we are going to just wrap the powder into the papers, and the protective qualities is very high as compared to the others, and speed or the rate at which it has been packed is also very high. Then the preparation of this powder, it involves, first we are going to weigh the ingredients correctly, then we are going to blend them, that is just mixing. Then we are going to divide them in a particular dosage size that is required by weighing it separately, place them into a powder paper, and then it is mixed together with a spatula. This method is carried out in the lab, and then it is folded, wrapped in an envelope or in a powder box, and then it has been dispensed to the patient. Next category is the compound powders. Now, when the term compound itself is indicating that it is not simple, but a combination of many ingredients present in them. Example is aspirin, paracetamol, and caffeine powder. The direction that is given to the patient is one powder that has to be taken when need arises. Method is we are going to powder all the ingredients. We are going to weigh the calculated quantity of each ingredient as given in the formula. Then we are going to mix them in the increasing order, that is ascending order of their weight. And we are going to wrap them individually as the dose prescribed by the prescriber. Next is wet seal cachets and dry seal cachets. Now these wet seal cachets, they are having two halves as shown in the image here. The lower half is smaller in size as compared to the upper one. Now these two halves are pressed together by moistening them with water. And then they are going to be placed exactly one above the other and the edges are pressed. Dry seal catchets, again it has two halves, wherein the upper half or the upper edge is placed over the lower one. Now the powder is filled into the lower half and the catchets are sealed in a machine by pressing the two halves. Next category is molded tablets. The molded tablets, which are actually prepared from the powders, they are flat, circular discs, which are going to contain the potent medicament and mixed with a diluent such as lactose, dextrose, or any other suitable diluent. It has upper perforated plate and lower pegs, as shown in the image here. The lower pegs at the edges are provided with two pegs which are meant for fitting it properly. The solid medicament, along with the diluent, is mixed together with 60% of alcohol, and the tablets are dried in hot air oven after preparing flat circular discs. Then moving to the explosive substances. So when we are mixing oxidizing and reducing agent, it results in some of the serious consequences which are not desirable. Now here potassium chloride when mixed with tannic acid, such type of explosive substance will be obtained. It is a very rare prescription and the powders are dispensed separately in different papers. They are not mixed together and suspended. When the patient is going to consume them, he is going to open up the wrapped powders, mix them at the time of consumption, and then he or she is going to consume them. Here the formula provided is potassium chloride, tannic acid, and sucrose. Eutectic mixture is the next class of bulk or powders meant for internal use. Now the definition here says that when we are mixing two or more compounds, they are going to liquefy. Now this liquefied product is the third product that we are obtaining. This melting point is lesser than the individual component like menthol, thymol, camphor, etc. Now the ingredients involved here are menthol, camphor, ammonium chloride, and light magnesium carbonate. Here also, since it is an eutectic mixture, it is going to liquefy, melt, and release the water for formation of a mass. Here they are going to separate out and powder each ingredient, weigh them. Then we are going to add menthol, camphor, and ammonium chloride. Mix them in ascending order of their weight in a mortar to form a liquid. Then we are adding light magnesium carbonate to get a free-flowing powder. Pass it through sieve number 80 and dispense them in an airtight container. This is the method that is employed for formulating a particular eutectic mixture. If we are using a liquid ingredient, then we are going to triturate it with some quantity of water, and then we are going to add the other ingredients given into the prescription. Here are few of the references. Textbook of Pharmaceutics 1, Alton textbook, and textbook of Remington, volume 1 and 2. Thank you.